Good morning, hope everyone's okay. I'd like to do a short series of videos. It's quite a long story I'm going to tell today, so it's got to be done over a few videos about my decline in mental health and my recovery, in the hope that it'll help you. Some of you know my stories and are familiar with my TikTok already, so if you're new to all this, my mental health was the subject that was basically caused by a factory that I worked in that was run by a tyrant. The tyrant who ran the factory was I was usually his scapegoat. He'd have no hesitation raising his fist to me, verbally abused me in front of people for jobs that somebody else had done that had gone wrong, but I was the easy target because I didn't have a voice. At one time he threw a pool cue at me because somebody had messed up a job and I wasn't sure how to fix that job. He would dock me wages at for this demeanour or that demeanour. So he really was a tyrant. So what made it worse is that tyrant was my father. He would humiliate me, abuse me, and be physical with me in front of a factory load of people. So that was the start of my decline in mental health, or certainly an issue to it. So part two. So yeah, the factory was a killer for me. I'd not had a very good childhood. The factory was an absolute killer, but I was employed there. It paid my wages, etc., etc. But my mental health at one time was so bad. I moved away from our local town to get away from my father and the baggage that he carried. We moved 30 miles up the road, my wife and I, my girlfriend and I, but by this time the damage was done. My mental health was awful. Sometimes I couldn't get out of bed in the morning to go to the factory to work. And my lovely girlfriend, Jenny, a young kid, okay, and she used to dress me and coax me out of bed and give me words of encouragement for the day. And even though I'd go to the factory and I'd live the day through fear and antidepressants. It was that my mental health was that bad, but I was determined to get over it, and Julie was determined for me to get over it, and so we set about a plan on getting better. So listen on, and I'll tell you how I did that. How we did. So I was on antidepressants, like I said before, and it wasn't for me. It made me feel even worse than I already felt. But if you're prescribed antidepressants, that might be your thing. It just wasn't for me, so I wanted to get off them. So I wanted my uphill struggle to become a nice little downward slope, okay, but without the aid of narcotics, for want of a better word. It's probably the wrong word, but so we set about making a plan, Julie and I, and that plan involved good reading. It involved music, good music. It involved healthy eating, and it involved exercise. Be that in a dojo, punching a bag, going for a run, or walking my dog. I gave up lots and lots of negativity in my life, so please stay tuned for more. So I stopped watching violent films. I was very influenced by my father, who thought he was some sort of gangster. So I'd find myself on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, watching The Godfather on repeat. Godfather 1, 2 and 3, Goodfellas, that kind of stuff, right? Violent things that really, a man of my, a young man, but the mental state I was in at that time shouldn't have really been watching them. They're a big influence. I kind of thought at one time, do I have to live up to my father's image? Do I have to become a gangster? And did I try and play that role for a little bit? Yeah, and that's just not me at all, okay? But yeah, so, I gave up watching the violent stuff, and I migrated to the stories I loved, like the Rocky stories, the Karate Kid, stories of where the underdog becomes the victim, the victor, not the victim, the victor. So I changed my whole palette in terms of reading, in terms of films, and what I now put in was healthy for me, and what I put in was healthy, so what I gave out was healthy. So gradually, and I can't promise you a quick fix. It doesn't work like that, but the results are worth it. Gradually, my uphill struggle, the gradient's that the right word, wasn't as steep anymore. It started to level itself out, and I started to enjoy life. I mean, why wouldn't I enjoy life? I had a lovely girlfriend, she's a great girl. I was training again. Like I said, I was reading good stuff. I was going to concerts. I was enjoying my life, and I kind of grew from there. It was always work. We have to put the shift in to get better. We can't just take that pill and feel better straight away. It was always work, but the work was worth it. And that led me to kind of where I am today. And this is a bit that I don't like, but I'm kind of successful in what I do. I speak in public. I'm an 8th Dan black belt. So I'm an author. We run our own professional dojo, and I promise I don't tell you that to be big-headed. I hate the big-headed side of it, but that's what you can do, okay? If you put your mind to it and have a black belt mentality and put the shift in and take the switch the negative for the positive, you can get better. You can do what you want to do, not what I want you to do, what you want to do. So the very best of luck. If I can help anyone, please just let me know. God bless you guys, whoever your God is.